What's going on, guys? So in today's video we're gonna be talking about the exhaust on my truck once again. So I still get DMs and stuff on the daily about my exhaust, and even though I've had this on my truck for nearly 2 years now, I've made multiple videos explaining what my exhaust setup is and showing y'all what it sounds like and stuff. But we're gonna make another one today because I still get a lot of questions. So this is my 2018 Chevy Silverado 5.3 for anyone new, and it has, I guess you would technically call, catback true dual straights, or true dual catback straights. So a lot of people get caught up in all the terminology with exhaust. True duals, straight pipes, catback, all that different stuff. People get confused and they don't really know what they're talking about. So I'm gonna break it down for you. If you have anything cat, resonator, muffler from the exhaust manifolds or headers back, it is not straight piped. This truck has 2 factory cats after the manifolds, so it is what you would call a catback true dual straight pipe. I just call it true duals, but then you have to go and say it doesn't have resonator, doesn't have a muffler, doesn't have the third cat slash resonator, whatever you want to call it. So it's easiest just to say it's a catback straight pipe. And I'm gonna get under here and show y'all exactly what that means. All right, so if you look right there, that is a factory catalytic converter. Typically, these 2 pipes come right here and do a Y pipe to a single pipe to a muffler and then a resonator. However, this one has been modified, obviously, at my local exhaust shop. Just, you know, chop and put pipe in. The third cat slash resonator, whatever you want to call it, that goes right here, it was removed. The Y pipe was removed. It is true dual catback straight pipe. There's nothing. This is just pipe. We've got 2 individual pipes going all the way down to the exhaust tips. So that's what makes it the true dual. There is nothing, there's no crossover, there's no pipe in between. These 2, each side of the engine, they're separate. These pipes are completely separate, true duals. Then if you see there's a cat, there's a cat. So catback straight pipe, 2.5-inch piping. I don't know if this is legal in your state because I don't have emissions. I do have the factory cats, but I don't know if this was past emissions as far as the sniffers go. I can guarantee you it won't pass as far as the sound goes because this thing is extremely loud. But this is what you got: catback, true dual, straight pipes. You've got back pressure with all this piping. People stress over that as well. So all of this is behind the O2 sensor, so the truck doesn't even really know that anything has been changed. It still runs and drives the exact same. It's just loud now. No check engine lights related to the exhaust. The truck doesn't know that you've removed anything if it's after the O2 sensors. So there's a ton of different exhaust tip options, and mine are just the shorty 5-inch. So you see the exhaust tip is not very long, and this allows you to tuck them away pretty much wherever you want. And so this is just a 5-inch opening, and it's just a shorty. I get these at a local exhaust shop. Any of your local exhaust shops will probably have a bunch of tips in stock. If they don't, you can order them. I don't know exactly where to get those because I got them locally, but I'm sure you can find them online. All right, so as you can hear, when it's idled down, you got a nice little lumpy tone. It's not overly loud once it does calm down from that crank up. I'm not talking overly loud to y'all. I'm sure you can hear me. It's got a good little chop to it. Sounds pretty good. So absolutely love the way it sounds at idle. It's got a nasty little, you know, just a nasty little aggressive tone to it. See, something just like that, something goofing off just like that, it just puts the biggest smile on your face that you can have. I mean, that thing, it just sounds freaking good. I know people hate on the true duals and the clapped out sound and all that kind of stuff, but dude, dude, I freaking love the way this sounds. So let's jump into the first thing that is pretty much the only real negative about this exhaust, which there is a fix for it, which we'll get into in a minute. But the truck, if you saw the previous clip, that was probably about 30 minutes to an hour ago. It was completely warm. Now it has sat outside for like 30 minutes to an hour, which you would think shouldn't crank up that loud. So sometimes when it's completely cold, not being cranked in like overnight, it'll crank up really loud. Sometimes it'll crank up loud at first and then quickly drop back down. However, when it's sat for, like I said, 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, this is what happens. Very, very loud. Very, very loud. Even though it's still pretty much warm. And it's not dying down very quickly. Still idling up pretty high. Let's see what the idle is. It's probably still about 900. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can see. Okay. 1100 RPMs currently. Still sitting here. The air's not on. It's at 1000. And if you look, hopefully y'all can see. I don't know what I'm looking at, honestly. The temp gauge, look, it's gonna be up to full temp here very shortly. So now we're there goes the RPMs, dipping down, finally. Don't get me wrong. I think it sounds great. Here at idle, it's down, it's tame. I think it sounds great when it cranks up loud. However, it's pretty annoying when you, let's say you go get lunch. You go to leave, you've been in there an hour. And you just wreck everyone. You go over to your friend's house, whatever the case may be. It gets really annoying when it cranks up that loud.
Baby squat is too loud. I'm talking about insanely too loud. So it's pretty dang late. So tonight we're gonna hit them with our old slipperoo. Of course, my Bluetooth freaked it out. Check it out, bro. We're rolling away.
We're gonna get past the neighbors. They're gonna freak, but anywho. All right, here we go. Yeah, sorry, neighbors. Yeah, loud truck props. And having a conscience as well. Conscience, yes. Lower and drive. Yeah, we out of here. Glorious buildings. So for y'all that aren't OG subscribers, I used to have a 2006 F-150 5.4, had it back in high school, and if I'm being honest, I was always jealous of the Chevrolet guys because they just sounded so amazing. And I went through like 3 or 4 full exhaust setup changes in order to try to make that truck sound like I wanted it to sound. And obviously I was very fortunate to have that truck. I think it sounded pretty good, but it just never had that Chevrolet sound. So honestly, 2 years ago, when I was looking to get a new truck, I knew right off the bat, because I know how much exhaust matters to me, I was finally going to get that sound. So I've had a couple trucks, but never a Chevrolet V8. And so I was very excited, and my whole goal going into getting this truck, I was like, I'm going to finally have a very nice truck and make it sound like I always wanted my old truck to sound. Alright guys, so I can't roll the windows down because we just got window tint, but it is perfect. Right off the bat, that was my first thing to do. Kind of had a little freak out moment when I figured out these have V4 mode on them, and then I thought it was going to be some big deal, even though it's really not. It doesn't even sound that bad when it's in V4 mode. But that was the first thing. I got the V4 module, and then it was time to do exhaust, which I was so excited for. I knew immediately true duals kill everything that wasn't absolutely mandatory in keeping the warranty. So we do have the 2 factory cats, as you've seen, which you're not going to be able to eliminate without warranty being an issue. But thankfully on these model trucks, there's only 2. They're not extraordinarily sound deadening like on some other models. They don't hold a ton of sound. Obviously, if this was true straight piped, it would be way more loud. But thank goodness with True Duals on this, I finally have that Chevrolet exhaust, which is just, it's so deep, it's so choppy, it's just literally what I grew up wanting. And yes, I know some people absolutely hate the clapped out sound, and you should grow up and have a more adult exhaust. Sure, whatever, at some point I will. But even if you look at it from a cost perspective, this whole setup cost me $350. True Duals with exhaust tips, welded, put up exactly how I want. It sounds exactly how I want, and I couldn't be more happy, because you got people out here getting like Corsa Extremes and other kits that are going to cost them literally thousands of dollars, hundreds and then thousands of dollars for certain kits. And in most cases, they're still on here looking for a different sound. Sure, if you like that single pipe, go for it. Some of them do sound really nasty. Obviously, when you go more performance side of stuff, they can sound super good with a nice Corsa Extreme or something like that. Cut the cats, whatever. But personally, I have just always been a fan of that real choppy, True Dual, loud sound. I know there's a ton of guys that follow me on Instagram and on here that have gotten this exact setup, and they DM me and they're like, wow, they're blown away with how good it sounds. I always tell people, be very mindful of where you live whenever you get this set up, because if you live right by some picky neighbors, or where you work or something like that, this truck, it's very loud when it cranks, and that's really the only time where you're gonna run into some issues potentially with getting on people's nerves, or police, or whatever it may be. Is just on the startups, which, like I said earlier, there is a fix for that. You can get that tuned out. So if you get an aftermarket tune, you can, if it's a custom one, which is what you want, you can request your tuner get rid of that very loud cold start. So it's built in within the tune to run the RPMs up like that, but you can get them to crank much quieter and idle down much faster than what the factory tune demands it to do. So if that is a big issue, you can always tune it. Personally, I haven't tuned mine just because I am riding out that factory warranty. These trucks do have issues with the V4, DOD, lifter failures, stuff like that. And personally, being my daily driver, it's nice to know that I have warranty while having a sick exhaust that I absolutely love. The whole truck is absolutely sick, and it's still pretty much, I can say confidently, covered completely by warranty, and I'm not worried about it. So doing a tune, yes, I want to do it. Yes, it will help in performance a little bit. Yes, it will help fuel economy a little bit, and it will solve my sometimes being annoyed at the truck being so loud on startups, but not really worth voiding the warranty quite yet. We've got less than a year on warranty, which kind of sucks, but at the same time, it will free us up to do some other fun things. I'll get on it just a little bit, burn a little bit of fuel for y'all, because it's normally really tame, but if you get on it, it can give you that very loud sound. Let's see. So that was like getting up to about 3,000 RPMs. That's where it gets choppy, loud, deep, and I absolutely love it. So sometimes it is a little bit annoying when you're going up some big mountains or something, and you got to do that right next to a minivan full of kids sleeping, and you're like, yo, I'm not trying to be loud, I am just trying to accelerate up this hill and not get run over in traffic. But in most cases, daily driving, this thing will stay below 2,300 RPMs. Usually about first gear will go up a little over 2,000, and then the rest is under 2,000 RPMs. So it's got a nice chop. It's obviously louder outside than what I hear, but it's not anything that you're like, you're going through town or you're going by houses. It's not anything out of the ordinary. So people are always curious, does it drone? Because the last thing you want is something to hinder your enjoyment factor. Sure, if you got it loud, you like how it sounds then, but then it's droning all the time, it's gonna ruin the experience of actually liking your exhaust. So people are curious, something this loud, I bet it drones horribly. It doesn't drone at all. I got into an argument on YouTube, which is a horrible idea to get in an argument with people in the comments, because it's dumb, but I got in an argument because this guy said my old Mustang droned like super bad, and I was like, it might come through the camera differently. I'll give you that. You wearing headphones or whatever, sure, it might sound like something different than it is in person, but I literally am in this vehicle hearing it. This has no drone. So you hearing the exhaust, that's not drone. Drone is that rumble in the cab that it just gets in your ear. It's super annoying. That is drone. This truck does not drone at all whatsoever. Any speed, RPM, I've not experienced any drone in this. part of it is just the overly loud cold starts sometimes, or crank ups, not even necessarily cold starts, crank ups. They do get annoying sometimes, but overall I still love it. I love how loud it is. I love how when I'm normally driving it like this, it's not overly loud. Inside the cab, it's never too loud. Outside, yes, it is very loud when I'm getting on it or something, but in here, I'm having a conversation with y'all. It's not something that people try to make like a big deal. Sure, this is a fairly new truck. I'm sure the sound deadening's pretty good compared to if you did the same thing on maybe the 90s model or the early 2000s, whatever. It might be different on the inside, but I mean, it's just a nice little rumble. We're at like 1200 RPM. Sure, if you have a different gear ratio, your RPMs might be different and it might act different. It might drone. I don't know. I don't know how it could react differently other than how it acts on my truck. But it's not ever too loud. In my opinion, it's perfect. I just absolutely love it. Everyone that has gotten this exhaust that has reached back out to me has said that they loved it. As new people come into the channel, they're curious, and I'm happy to make exhaust videos because I like doing it. I like hearing it. Y'all like hearing it, and usually the videos do good, and so I'm always down for that. Plus, whenever we get Larry finally back up and going, we're going to have some Ford versus Chevrolet exhaust stuff, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know this video is probably over 20 minutes long just due to everything, so hopefully you did enjoy, and hopefully it's something that you can really grasp how it sounds. And yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna quit rambling. Hopefully you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new, leave a like, and hit the bell notification, and I will see y'all in the next one.